Hey guys, how's it going? Kripparrian here. Today I want to give you guys an over-explained video for the Bazaar. Now, I kind of wanted to follow up my Bazaar guide that I made initially before the game, like soft launch in the early access state. And it's just that they've had quite a lot of changes. Even if they don't have a major patch, it seems that every few days they adjust things. Like in the last wave, they just removed the number of items that were overperforming, and now we have a more balanced state of the game. It's just difficult because change is happening so consistently to do like an on-point hero guide or an on-point game guide again. So I thought the next best thing was to do like an over-explained. I've seen a few people do this. I actually have seen Zizaran do this for Path of Exile, which is also a pretty complicated game at times. So I thought it would work. I did it on stream and people loved it. They requested it for the other classes. I might do it for the other classes. It's just the other classes are like overly warped by the meta, I feel. While Vanessa seems to have the most options right now, and Vanessa is also the hero that you start with when you first play Bazaar, so I thought it was really fitting. Now, disclaimer, this is a long video, but I do want to add that people were really happy with the fact that I did this on stream, so consider watching it. Even people that apparently were top legend picked up a few tips because I really did go over everything that I was doing. Enjoy the game. Over-explain. It's yap time. Yeah, I've seen a number of people check out the game recently. I was watching Macrobio Boy check out the game earlier today, and there's certainly a lot of things that I picked up over time, but then when I play, I make the moves real fast, and I don't explain it each time. I'm sure that people that watch regularly, they kind of get all these things, or if you've played a lot, I'm sure you get all these things, but not everyone has or can. So Vanessa is arguably, but also probably, the strongest hero right now. She's the strongest hero because you can play many different ways, and many of her builds are very strong. So if you know how to play a good number of her builds, you can very consistently get 10 wins with Vanessa right now. But we're largely going to go over basics and stuff. And I don't know, I generally try to stay away from the really OP stuff. When the game starts, you almost always want to go for the item that sells for the most gold. So you usually don't consider the small items unless they are good, like really good. The throwing knives is really good, and the best play here would be to get the throwing knives, and I'd probably just play a full weapons build and you guys wouldn't really learn anything. The throwing knives is maybe the only single item that is ignoring the internal cooldown, which is about 5 per second. So it's really busted, especially because you can get 2 of them, which is nearly infinity damage, but it's a bug. And when I play, I try not to use bugs if I can help it. The pet rock is also pretty good. But honestly, I'm just going to go for the fishing rod. We're going to go hard mode. Okay? I would recommend that most people in this situation use the most powerful options given. The fishing rod is... But also, yes, I do want to... get the item that sells for 4 gold, because the item that you start with is not necessarily one you'll keep very long. We can see here what options we have. The damage over time skills are extremely strong in the first few days. And the first few days are really important. A lot of people is like, hey, I only lose 1 prestige, I only lose 2 prestige, and that's true. But if your aim is to get 10 wins, and my aim is to get 10 wins, winning on day 1 is the same as winning on day 15. If you get like a damage over time passive, this is terrible one, by the way. But if there's one that's like your leftmost burning item gets +8 burn, if you get that and you get a fire item, it's basically absolute free win on day 1, probably 2, probably 3, probably even 4, possibly even 5, even if the rest of your build is absolute garbage. So that is something to consider. But it's okay, maybe we won't go 10 wins on this run. Typically, the starter skills for Vanessa are all pretty good. The only ones I don't like are the ones that have like global buffs that are hard to achieve. like your burn items have +3 burn. I actually don't like this one. I don't like this one because it's not really good enough if I have 1 burn item. It's really only like very good when I have like 3 burn items. And that might not happen for a long time. That might not happen for a long time. Strength is very good. You just spam weapons. It's extremely good in the first few days. It might actually keep up with like one of the poison ones or one of the fire ones. But I'm going to go left-handed because I have a thing for one weapon builds. I kind of like playing them. So, game starts. 3 options. One of the things that I really like to do is get a little bit of experience early. If you make it to level 2 before the first fight, it's a huge advantage. But the first few things that you do, you have to be very careful with your gold. First thing you want to do is basically activate your skill, because a silver item can be very good, but you can get a silver item on day 1 from the silver vendor. This is a gold tier skill. You can tell it is by the border. A gold tier skill you cannot get until day 5, specifically off the gold skill vendor. You probably won't get a normal gold skill from the skill vendor until day 6, and it's really rare on 6, probably 7 and later. So your skill is far more important into the build that you're playing compared to your starting item, which is why I just get the one that sells for the most gold. We're going to go with Curio, just because we can get some cool stuff, and we want to activate this skill. So we really need a weapon, basically. Extra experience is very nice. Can't go wrong with Insect Wing. And Sunder is a pretty good weapon. When you look at an item, it's not that it does 5 damage, it's how much DPS it does. So like this one, wow, lifesteal, but it's like 9 seconds. So if we add 24 to it, it does 29 damage every 9 seconds. That is terrible. It's like 3.22 DPS. It's horrendous. Now if we put it on the Sunder, it goes to also 29, but it does 7.25 DPS. So it does way more damage. So we're going to want that. There's some strategy to not using these right away. Also, the reroll button is very expensive. I think it's a common noob trap to just reroll here. Reroll anywhere is a common noob trap, I would say. Why is it a noob trap? Because these, like everything that I just bought, it sells for a gold. So I got a Sunder for 2 gold, but it sells for 1. I got an XP potion for 2, but it sells for 1. I got this for 2, but it sells for 1. So I actually only lost 3 gold. For like really good stuff. So re-rolling would cost that much gold, and I don't get anything. So you really don't want to re-roll early unless you have to, or there's a very good reason. There might actually be a very good reason, because when you re-roll, you can't get the same items that you had in the first screen. For a vendor like Curio, that doesn't have much value. But if you have a vendor that has a more restrictive item set, like the large vendor, that can be really important to reroll. Because like the large vendor on day 2 can only have 7 different large items. So you might not like the first screen, but the second screen is going to have pretty much a set few items. I basically have to consider if I want to buy and sell the spiked buckler here for 4 more damage on it. Honestly, I don't, because I think I'll replace the Sunder at some point pretty early. Giving your items 1 crit for 1 gold is incredibly good, but this early we do have to be a little bit cautious with how we spend our gold. So I think just because it's the first hour, I'm not going to do that. We also have this, which is it's like 20 damage or something. It's pretty good, but I think here we are done. On this screen, you will have different monsters. You will always get one that you can beat with no items. You can beat the Haunted Kimono with no items. You'll have like 4 health at the end. It might look like you'll lose, but you won't lose. The Sandstorm will come and finish him off. You can beat the Banana Ball with no items, and you can beat Pyro with no items. Oh, is it like 40 damage? I don't know. Pig starts with 300 health, so Pig's breakpoints are a little bit more favorable. Keep that in mind. The 3 other monsters that are the starting monsters, there is the wolf pup thing. You can also beat that with no items. The other 2 that you cannot beat with no items, there is the wasp. I believe you can beat the wasp with no items because it has a skill where when it uses one of its weapons that has slow, it buffs a random weapon with 5 damage. I think if it hits the lifesteal weapon 0 times, it's a 50-50, you can actually beat it with no items. I think Pig can beat it with no items a good portion of the time. But, yeah, the other heroes cannot. And then there's the Viper, which is insanely hard if you don't have really high damage, but it has the lowest life. The Viper only has 100 life. If you want to math it out, if you have no extra survivability and 250 health, you will die 25 seconds into the Viper. We have this thing, sell this, reduce your items cooldown by 3%. So I'm not doing that yet because I'm hoping to acquire some more items before I have a real fight. This is not a real fight. We can beat any of these without items. I basically have to choose what I want. A monster drops one of the items that it has. I'm going to choose the banana ball just because its items are somewhat usable. So it has no skill, so there's nothing to drop there. So it's just going to be 33% chance at each of these. The medkit is terrible. The blue nanas is 20 health, which on the first PvP fight is actually significant. If you're playing a defensive setup and you think you'll cast it more than twice before you die, it's worth it to not sell the blue nanas. The duct tape is very good for dually and pretty good for Pig. Usually Vanessa will not be able to scale shields that well though. Those are horrible choices for starting monsters. Alright, so this is a pretty interesting one. So I didn't sell this yet because I might pick up a cove. Small chance, but it's possible. But you need 2 extra experience to level up to level 2 before your first PvP encounter. You might be compelled to go to vendors if your items are bad. Honestly, not a bad choice. If I'm not even going to use that. So basically, this is my board. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But I really like Lost Crate early. Lost Crate is you find an abandoned chest. You can get a small or medium item. Rewards like these and items from vendors, their rarity is based on the day in which you initiate it. So any kind of item generation on day 1 will always be bronze. The only way you can get silver items on day 1 is Silvaro or something. It's a specific vendor that actually just sells silver items, overwrites it. I like the Return the Crate a lot early, especially if I can level to level 2 for the first day of PvP, and I can. So 2 gold and 1 experience. How good is experience? Well, there used to be Deborah, which was a vendor, and she gave you 1 experience for free, or you could pay 5 gold to get 2 experience. That vendor was overpowered enough that she is now removed from the game. So I would say that based on that, 1 experience is worth at least 5 gold. So this option is worth at least 7 gold. 7 gold on day 1 for 1 action is a hell of a lot. While 1 experience might not mean much right away, sometimes it might. Like in our case, we actually are going to level 2 for the PvP fight. The way you have to think of it is 1 experience now is also 1 experience later. Okay, like right now, it might not be much. It might not be the difference. Like if I didn't have the Vial of Blood to sell for an experience, if I didn't have that, this might not actually be enough for me to level 2 for the PvP fight. I would still take it. I'd still take it because while the benefits don't seem like a lot right away, later on, they're substantial. The amount of health that you get when you level is based on the level. When you get to the higher levels, you get a tremendous amount of health for leveling. Like at level 15, you get like 1,000 health if you level, right? So you get 1 experience every hour. So if you pick up like 5 or 6 of these throughout the game, that's an extra 1,000 health and level up reward. But it's better than that because there's guaranteed things that happen at certain level breakpoints. So it's supposed to be at level 5, 10, and 15, but for whatever reason, it's almost always triggering one level after that. So it's level 6, level 11, and level 16 are guaranteed level rewards. At level 6 and 11, you get guaranteed upgrade your leftmost item. So any item you want, you just upgrade it, which is very valuable. And we'll talk about the strategy when the time comes for that. But at level 16, you get to choose one of 3 enchantment options. That is the biggest moment of power in almost every single run. So the way you have to look at experience is it might not be that useful right now, but it will be better at some point probably. And if you pick up many sources of experience throughout a run, your chance to actually make it to level 16 before your run is over is much higher. If you don't pick up additional experience like this one, you will almost never make it to level 16 before your run is over. And you might be thinking why you are losing. Okay, so we're going to do this. We have Small Vendor, we have Finn's Big Bite, and we have 3 Bronze Tier Chocolates. This is actually a rare case where I am not going to fill my board. I'm going to sell this for experience. And the reason I need to sell it for experience is you can't sell the experience and level immediately. You can only level in between hours. So I have to sell it before I commit to this action. I'm going to go to Finn's Big Bite just because it's free value. I might get maybe even a little bit more power from a small vendor, but I might not. Early on, regeneration is insanely big. Like, if you take a look at this item, which is a, super powerful skill buffed on a fast weapon with an ability, it still does, 7.25 DPS. That's all it does, right? This cancels out 5 DPS from my opponent on day 1. It's ridiculous. Right? It's almost the entirety of that weapon it would cancel out. And this is a good weapon on day 1. Sell banana first. Oh, that's interesting. So I could sell the banana to gain 20 max health. But 5% of that would only be 1 health. I'm actually going to keep the banana. Because I think with the fact that I'm going to have extra health, 5 regen, and be level 2, I think the blue nanas will trigger more than twice. So here we're just looking for options. They've changed the level up rewards quite a few times. So this one's pretty interesting. If I was playing a build with lots of weapons, or if I had a weapon I knew I would not give up, if I actually had the dagger as my starting weapon, I would pick this. This is extremely strong early because 10% max health right now is 30 health. It's nothing, right? You obviously don't want to take this later on. This might still be the best choice for winning, but I'm reluctant. I think I'll get a similar amount of power just from an ammo item, so that's what I'm going to do. Got a grenade. I'm going to fix the positioning, because that's going to run out of ammo. The fishing rod does absolutely nothing, and I'm going to play the insect wing and not sell it. And the reason I want to do this is if they have item destruction, which is actually possible on day 1, even from dually with virus. Virus is silver tier. We want it to potentially land on this and not on the weapon. So it's important to just fill your board up, even if it's with garbage. Alright, so we're level 2. The first few levels you get increase the size of your rug. So going to level 4 as fast as possible is very, very good. Alright, see how it works.
Go ahead.
My build is pretty weak, but we have a lot of health and good regen, and we should nerf some shields pretty well. Damn, that's a terrifying item on day 1. We can kind of stop it with the Sunderer slowly. But I'm not sure I'm going to win here. I think I might actually lose. Shields are stronger than healing because you can effectively pre-cast them when approaching fatigue. I think it'll be a tie. No, I won with 12 health.
You fall like a boulder. I flow like the waves.
All right. We get a random item from the fishing rod. We got an ambergris. You want to be pretty careful with what you're doing at the start because you don't have that much gold. When you buy another aquatic item, this gains 2 value. That can be pretty valuable to just help fill up your board. Early on, you might be compelled to click on the skill vendors. I would recommend that you don't do that. The grade of the skills that they offer is, again, based on the day. So he's just going to give me bronze skills. He cannot give me silver skills. At day 3, I think he can give silver skills. But so why is this bad? This is bad because you can't make a skill better with other things. You can make an item better. Like, let's say I want a Sunderer as my endgame weapon. I could get gumballs, I could increase the damage with the level up rewards, I can get more skills that up its damage. But a skill is just a skill. You can't change the skill the way that you can change an item. So an item that is bronze is potentially usable to the end of the game. A skill that is bronze is very bad. A skill that is bronze cannot upgrade more than 1 tier if you go to another vendor. So let's say I go to this crit vendor. Let's say I really want to get crit on my items. I would go to a crit vendor, right? No, that's wrong. Because on day 2, the crit vendor is going to have 4 bronze crit skills. So even though they might be the crit skills that you want, their grade is going to be garbage. Let's say you even get the crit skill that you want. When you go to like a day 9 crit vendor, potentially, the crit skill that you want and have gotten before would be bronze tier. So that vendor, even though it's day 9, would offer that skill at bronze tier. And when you buy it, it goes to silver. So going in early to get skills that are actually good for your build will often completely screw you over later. What you want is to generally go for skills later in the game when you can immediately get them at a higher tier. So we have some options here. I quite like a little bit of income early. Sometimes it's wasted if you get really valuable boss loot. Sometimes it's not. But I have economy through the fishing rod, and I just got another economy item, so I don't think I need it. Specifically because of the ambergris, when you buy another aquatic item, this gains 2 value. I think I can leverage that through vendors, and I just kind of want to fill my board right now. So let's see what we got. Aquatic. This is also a friend. All the heroes have potential level up rewards that are doubled in value if you have a friend. So buying and not selling one friend is very useful. So we're going to just buy that. And I will not sell this unless I absolutely have to until I get another friend to replace it. We can go for grenade. It's a pretty crappy use of gold. It's just 40 damage. I have no way to change the ammo. If I was playing like an ammo-based weapon build, I'd probably do that. But in this case, I'm not going to. You can see we got a silver item. On day 2, you can get silver items. They're quite rare, actually. I like Ice Pick. It's not bad. But I'm not sure I want to spend 4 gold for it. Maybe I do. Okay, I'll spend 4 gold for it. It does pretty good damage. It'll fit on my board. Again, rerolling here, it's decent. But it's like, I would mostly reroll here if I had a small item in mind. What small item would I really, really want right now? Honestly, I got a friend already. I don't think I'm going to reroll here. Small non-weapon, bronze skills, and weapons. Some skills are actually good at bronze. Notably the ones that have a first effect freeze. Because if you're playing like a super YOLO aggro build, if you freeze something for 3 seconds or 8, it might be the same thing. Because some of those giga aggro weapon builds, if your opponent's not dead in 3 seconds, they just probably won't die anymore. There are a number of weapons that I could leverage with left-handed quite a bit. So I think I'm actually going to go for weapons. Piranha sucks, but again, it'll actually give me more gold than what I have because when I buy an aquatic, this gains 2 value. I can buy it for 2, sell it for 1, so that's plus 1 gold when I sell that. I don't really like these options very much at all, but with the way that each day works is 2 non-fights, and then the PvE fight, and then 2 non-fights, and then the player fight. So the next thing is going to be fighting a monster. So against the monster, we want to be as strong as we can. In fact, I'll just sell the blue nanas there. Do I want 40 more damage? I don't think it'll make the difference. I don't think I want the hand axe. I generally don't want to play a mass weapon build with this either. Tough call though. Here, the fights start to matter. Day 2 and later, the monsters will actually fight back. How about that? You pretty much want to make sure that whatever you are clicking on, you can beat. A lot of the time, it won't be this one, even though the rewards are higher. It says 3 experience, that's the middle one, 2, 2, and a ramping amount of gold, 3, 4, 5. So it might seem like you want to challenge this one. The thing is, if you get them to like half, you get some of the gold, but the experience and the loot is all or nothing. So you really want that experience. Like I mentioned, 1 experience seems to be budgeted at about 5 gold, possibly more. So this guy gives 5 gold, but if I don't kill him, that's a fail. There are libraries for some of these monsters. Like I have the Monsters command and Mobalytics. That one's pretty good for monsters specifically. They have the howbazaar.gg. They have a pretty good library, so you can kind of see what you can expect in terms of the difficulty. But you basically want to weigh the difficulty, the rewards, and the potential items that they have. And you generally need to be fairly careful with that. I am absolutely certain I can beat the thief. And I'm pretty sure I can beat the mosquito. Oh, sorry, and I'm absolutely sure I can beat the mosquito. So I really just have to think which one has better rewards. This will have 1 more gold, but that's not significant enough. I'm actually going to go for the mosquito. And I'll show you guys something kind of interesting here. I'm sure some of you guys have seen it, but we're going to take off all our items. So at this point in the game, even if you lost your first fight, the first fight only gives 1 experience. At this point in the game, you'll always be level 2. So against this specific enemy, you can only lose if you have an item. Because it has 1 item that slows, and then it has a weapon when you slow deal damage. If you have no items, it can't slow anything. And at level 2, you have 300 health, and the mosquito has 250. So you can never lose to the mosquito if you unequip your items. The reason I'm doing the mosquito is because so some of the rewards are disabled. I've never gotten Keen Eye. So it's 20% chance to get the mosquito skill at the start of each fight, haste the weapon for 3 seconds. Because of my starting skill, I'm likely to end up playing a 1 weapon style build. So I want that skill. I got probably the worst item, but who knows, maybe we'll get some slows. When you slow, deal damage. Maybe we'll play a slow build this time. One thing specifically for Vanessa is you do want to get an astrolabe or a star chart because it creates a new option for the docks event. So even though Strange Mushroom can be 1 experience, which is pretty nice, I'm absolutely clicking on medium items, and I will reroll if I don't find something I want. So we can still buy aquatics for 2 gold. They're essentially free. But I only have 9 gold, and I really want to reroll here, so I think I will not buy those. Even though they're essentially free when I sell both that and the ambergris. I like the harpoon, I suppose. I suppose I'll get the harpoon.
Oh, I think you're really gonna enjoy that.
So we did not get the star chart. The dock lines is pretty good with proboscis, I guess. But I don't have any other slow, do I? I have the illusion ray. Dock lines is a pretty good item, actually. So here's the thing. I can sell the piranha and the grenade for the rope. If I do that, ultimately the rope won't cost me any gold because I have ambergris, which is really nice. But if I do that, I'll have no gold for the next action. Remember, we're going to have a vendor here. But I think I am going to do that. I'm going to sell the grenade and that and buy the dock lines. And now we have no money. So we can sell this for 10, but that's kind of like a value generator. So we can either get 3 change, 5 chocolate bars, we can get the free chocolate bars, or we can go to the silver vendor and potentially sell this. I think I'm going to go to the silver vendor, just because I'm still looking for a big power item. Jesus Christ, that's a big power item. So that does not work with my starting skill at all. But it is such a powerful item that I kind of want it. I will have slow, or hell, with the dock lines. I will have freeze. I can have burn. So I can get it to 4 multi. But this is kind of the game. Even though the most, like, central part of the build is my starting skill, we got an item that's powerful enough to be used without it. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to sell the ambergris to get the weather glass and the fire item. And now we level. So we have some interesting options. We have friend loot, and now we have a friend, so we'll get double for friend loot. No pain, no gain. Crit, 2 experience. So this is like 10 gold. Or +1 poison. So the friend loot, I think the average friend loot is better than the average 2 experience if you have a friend. Now, the friend loot does scale on the day. So on the later days, I think it has to be like day 8 or 9, you can get a snowflake, which increases a freeze item's duration by 1, which is ridiculous. Until that day, you cannot get that, but I think everything else is the same. So what do we get? We got 2 fire items. So when you sell this, your leftmost burn item gets +1 burn. So that's really good for the weather glass. We got an experience, but it doesn't do anything. Not yet, anyway. I think I'll use the harpoon. Should we use the harpoon? I think we use the harpoon there. I am able to sell these for faster cooldowns, and I'm able to sell that to get an experience point. Normally, you'd hover over your opponent and get a little bit of information. You can see if they won or lost. So this guy won his first day. So he's probably pretty strong. He's like 50%. Top half. Currently, when I'm recording this, the level display is bugged. So he could be level 3. He could be level 4 with some super extreme scenarios. So the level thing does not give me information. Normally it would, and that would be pretty valuable information indeed. We don't have that right now. I think I'm extremely strong. I think these cooldown things will not make that much of a difference, but actually now that I look at my build, I think I'm just going to use them anyway. Because this is a pretty solid setup. I am going to be keeping most of it for a while. So we just lower our cooldowns by 3% twice. The fishing rod that generates an item does not need to be on my board to work. So this one has a multi. When it triggers again that many times. But it does so on internal cooldown. But it still charges while that happens. This particular item is giving me 1 more multi. So it starts with 1, just cast once. For burn, slow, poison, or freeze. I don't have any poison. But the fishing rod will eventually give me a poison. probably. This lose income, gain gold. Never take this. This is terrible. Always terrible. Gumballs are pretty good if you can afford it, or if they don't cost anything, but if you don't have any econ item, they will cost 1 gold each and sell for 0. We're going to go for medium items because we really want Star Chart, and we really want Astrolabe. I'm actually going to take the upgrade here. I am going to reroll here, but I am willing to sell everything if I get an Astrolabe or Star Chart, which I did not get. Barcoon, medium, and large. Let's see how much money we potentially have. Selling the fishing rod is going to be dire, but I will do it if I need to. So let's see what he has. Okay, I'm going to sell the experience. If I reroll there, I still have 7 gold available, and that is good enough for me. So we got a cove. When you sell an item, this gets 1 value. This would normally be a very high priority item, but I'm not going to sell a fishing rod for it. So that is a bit unfortunate. I also like the wanted poster, but again, I'm not going to sell my entire stash for it. Normally, like I said, you don't want to reroll if you're very poor, but if you do, it has to be for a very specific reason. The very specific reason is that I want an item that gives me the extra event in docks, which is Astrolabe or Star Chart, which is a medium item, and I was rerolling on medium large and the medium vendors specifically. So here you want to go for the highest ones that you can take on pretty much, or they have very specific rewards. I'm pretty sure I can take on the Etherite, but the Etherite is actually really tough. I think there's a non-zero chance that I die. This guy's pretty good. He has a few burn items. The Rogue Scrapper's okay. I think what I'm going to do is run the Sunder and another Slow instead of the Harpoon, because she has a bunch of crappy small items. So I can lower her shield and do a little bit more damage at the start of the fight. I think this should be enough to win. The regen is going to come in big on this one, possibly. Some of the monsters are easy if you have lots of defenses. Some of the monsters are easy if you have lots of damage. It kind of depends on the monster.
See that plank?
When this gains haste, give your other items 4 crit for the fight. Pretty weak. We level up, increase the rug. Ammo. I think I'm going to take that and give the Harpoon an extra ammo. There's literally 0 weapons I'm interested in, so we're going to go Lost Crate. The option to get HP is actually quite good, because it's free. 100 HP is a lot right now. But, yeah, that's really good, especially when you don't have much money. Here we have regen or small and large. I feel like my board is decent. Large could be Cove. Small could be some valuable items, including a poison. I like the regen, but I'm going to go for items here. So we have a Pop Snappers upgrade. I think I'm going to go for it. We also have a Holsters, which is not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. I think I can use the Goggles for a little bit of survivability. So he can't have medium items, and while I would like a Cove, I don't really want to reroll for a Cove, so I'm going to leave it at that. We got Pig. We can kill 2 small items, and we have very significant damage with shield ruining abilities on the Sunder. I expect to win here.
My fight is...
Do I like the shovel? I like the shovel, yeah. This guy has 800 health and pretty significant damage and scaling. But now he has a lot less scaling. Now he has no survivability. So burning damage is dealt twice per second, but every time burning does damage, it lowers 1 stack. We have pull for large items. There is some value in doing him because we can get a trebuchet. We have docks, but we don't have a docks item. But that doesn't mean that docks is bad. Docks is still pretty good. Tough decisions here. For pull, I would buy a cove. Oh, we got another ambergris. That's pretty nice. I would buy a cove, and I would probably go for a trebuchet, because trebuchet would unlock haste for me. I could bench the harpoon and the sunderer. I think we're going to go pull. We actually got a cove, but it's silver tier. The second line, when you sell an item, it gains 1 value. This is actually the same as silver, so this is just a way more expensive item. I actually don't like it. I will get the trebuchet, though. I think a little bit of haste will go a long way. Yeah, should be fine. The ice pick is a little bit faster than the trebuchet, so I'll do a little bit more damage with left-handed active. So here we have a few options. Medium and large. Burn skills are interesting. We cannot get a gold burn skill, and like I mentioned, we could get like kind of bricked. The thing is that I'm playing a burn build, and I don't have any burn skills. So this is like a really rare case. Why are we effing? Okay, so let's continue. 2 income is pretty nice early. So we have 3 victories. If we go flawless, it's 7 more days, but it's really 6, because after we get the last one, it's over. So that's like 12 gold. That's pretty good. I feel like this is the rare case where we actually break the rule for skills just to get some kind of extra damage on the weather glass. I think we actually do burn skills.
Trust me, kiddo. You wanna buy this?
Oh wow, and that is so much power. Rightmost burn 6. So I can sell these items. The Sunderer was good, but I'd rather keep the friend and I'd rather keep the econ boost.
So who are you gonna use that?
And then we have to move that.
I don't want to.
We get multicast from having a burn, poison, slow, or freeze. Alright, right now we're extremely strong, so we're just gonna go for highest rewards. We're very poor.
Was that even a battle? Maybe a skirmish?
Sells for 4 gold. Not bad.
Another empty chest, waiting to be filled.
Poison items +1, but we're probably going to get more value from that. This is a decent item, but I won't really be able to find room for it, so we go for friend loot again. Pretty good options. Let's see what I'm doing. So Mountain Pass has an option to give you 2 income. It has an option to like RNG. Sometimes you get an item, sometimes you get 1 XP, sometimes you get a fight. The fight is obviously crazy good. In the first few days, the potential fight usually is not one. On day 4, it's probably about 50% chance. I'm actually going to go to the medium vendor because I really want to get a dock item. And I would potentially use an astrolabe over this. We got a star chart. We got a dock item. So let's sell these. I can hold off on the insect wing. I might go for the shovel also. Let me kind of see where I'm at. Nah, I think I have too much stuff in my inventory. Do I want to roll for a medium item? I think I do, because I actually like the dock lines. And I would go for another weather glass, of course. We didn't get one. Small items or poison skills. Again, we really want to start getting some damage. The first thing that we get should be quite a lot of damage. Leftmost poison, +4 poison. Let's do that. Just to kind of help juice the damage. I can sell that. It is pig, undefeated, 3 wins. That is a little bit concerning. I do kind of want to use my harpoon. And I am able to use my harpoon if I drop that item. So I think we'll go with that, because we need the slow. Alright.
We're out to dethrone.
So it's a star chart or an astrolabe that enables the new option on docks. A lifesteal bee. How does he even have that? Oh, he has the crow's nest. I mean, I literally had to harpoon the bee. This is one of the most unethical bullcrap boards I've seen in a long time on day 4.
Put it toward nobler use.
Lifesteal bee. With weights. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it is absolutely unwinnable. So we're gonna go with Mountain Pass. Because I still have the fishing rod and the ambergris, I'm gonna go for potentially a fight. We did not get a fight, but we got a level. We have the guaranteed level up. Upgrade your leftmost item. And typically you want to have some kind of plan for this. In my case, I think I'm gonna go for the trebuchet. This is kind of where you want to start having some kind of vision for what build you're going to play. And in my case, it looks like I'm going to play a weatherglass build, but because I don't have an astrolabe, I probably have to use the trebuchet as my source of haste. So we move it to the leftmost position and upgrade it. The haste is more valuable than the extra damage, because 2 seconds haste is going to be almost full uptime. So because we got the star chart, so we're looking for the star chart and the astrolabe. If you have either of those, and they're both Vanessa items, so it's really only a Vanessa thing, when you go to the docks, you get to work as a navigator. The other options aren't bad, because you can get cross-class items that enable crazy builds. But this one, 6 gold and 2 XP, this is effectively 16 gold. This is a crazy amount. That's why we specifically get the star chart for that. This build currently has no defenses. Its defenses are effectively killing the opponent and having more health. So to have more health, we have to be over-leveled, which is why experience is so important.
Repeat me.
Right now we're just blasting over-level.
Waste of
That's a nice skill. First time you fall below half health each fight, freeze all enemy items for 1 second. Excellent. Get a tool, health, toughness, and shield items. So, this vendor is kind of interesting. The number of items that are tagged as health, toughness, and shield that I'm looking for in this build is 0. I'm not looking for any. But because it has a restriction, it actually has a higher chance to offer items enchanted with those things. And I have some item flexibility right now. So if I got an item that has a shield enchant, I would potentially use it. At 22 gold, we're gonna go for it.
I can forge some for you.
We've got a barrel. Golden barrel on 5 is actually kind of crazy. But this is what I was talking. Shielded cutlass. Astrolabe is shield 2, but I'm kind of set on the treb now. Barrel is pretty good. You know what? I think barrel is pretty good too, but I don't know if it's better than the harpoon. And I don't really want to spend 16 gold for it. Yeah, we can buy the aquatic to juice the ambergris. We got an astrolabe, but I already have a silver trebuchet, so I think I'm just going to stick it with a trebuchet. Shielded holster is very nice also. I think it is a little bit too late for the astrolabe. I think we're going to stick it out with the treb. But yeah, you saw 2 enchanted items there. I told you. Could have been good. Here there's a few good options, but I think the best one is just more experience. For large items, we could go with the trebuchet. We could also benefit from having a cove. So I think I'm actually going to go him instead of 1 experience. We did get a cove. We also have a port, but I don't think I'm going to go to a port build right now. It's a little bit too difficult. The dock lines are pretty good, but at silver... On day 6, gold items are not that rare anymore. So I sold the dock lines, which is a good item. But on day 6, it has a chance to show up as a gold item. If I keep it as bronze, it'll always show up as a bronze, which is effectively finding a silver. So sometimes you want to sell an item because it's too low grade, I guess. We did not get a treb. So we have item generation off the fishing rod. That's fine. I'm pretty happy with this build. We are a little bit over leveled, and we have very high damage.
You should know, I'm a bit of a legend on Pelago.
This guy has a crazy build. He's the same level, has Cheat Death and Astrolabe with a pufferfish and a jellyfish, and he RNG froze my glass. I think we lose badly, but that is just unfortunate. Nah, we only lost by like 1 second. I think we actually lost because of the RNG freeze. A bit unlucky. Random items or skills on 6. I'm actually going to go for skills on 6. Usually I'll go for more items, but in this case... I am lacking on decent skills, and on 6 we can get gold skills, they're just kind of rare. 5 to slowest poison. Not bad. Crit or ammo. I think we're going to go with a poison one. Weapon skills, we will have some weapons, but most weapon skills aren't very good. We also have Pearl's Dig Site. Pearl's Dig Site allows you to find any item, but you can only buy one item, and you can roll forever, but each roll costs 1 more gold. It's actually really strong if you can afford it. I probably can afford it. I don't think I'm going to go with weapon skills. It's either get some amount of free money, that could be quite a bit of free money, because on day 6 we can get like a gold item, or the dig site. I think I'm going to go for a free item. Okay, bro. And that doesn't really matter. Here we're just targeting highest rewards, highest XP. I have absolutely no defenses, but that's okay. Sell the chart and buy another one. Oh yeah, I guess it was. I guess you're right, because we have the cove. We should have sold the chart and then got it. You're correct. Kinda weak here. So these things, the coconut and citrus, they're like small regen and health bonus. They kind of suck, but because we have the cove, we can effectively get 2 more gold out of it, but I'd have to sell the fishing rod for it, and I'm not sure that's worth it. So I think I'm just going to go with a friend. Hey, look at that, it has poison. Good. I could do like this to do a bit more damage, but no, it's actually less damage. It's actually less, because the slowest poison gets 5 poison. A little bit less damage. So docks, we pretty much always go docks no matter what. For large items, now we already have Cove. I don't care to upgrade Cove. So now we're actually going to go for Mountain Pass because we're chasing experience. Oh my god, we got Lich. Sometimes when you do this, you will get a fight from a day above your current day. Lich is probably the hardest monster in the game for when you fight it, but with this Mountain Pass option, you might as well try. Like, I'll do some damage, probably. I think we have a non-zero chance to win. Lich does tremendous poison damage and has crazy freezes, and every time you use a non-weapon, you take poison damage yourself. But I think my damage is really high, actually. I think I have a non-zero chance to win. Oh man, if that went off, I think I could have had it. Yeah. That was like 0.1 second off from winning. It got frozen right before it was going to go off. But if it goes off and then gets frozen, it still performs the multi. That was this away from winning. The Necronomicon Dream, that would have been pretty sweet. Yeah, I still got like 8 or 9 gold, so it was still a very good option. At this point, I'm kind of locked in my build and strategy, so we just hope we don't get countered too badly. This is a pretty bad counter, but if I can freeze the right item, I should be good. We did not freeze the right item. He only has 1 item now, so now he'll probably lose. Yes. Harpoon is extremely strong when combined with freeze.
All cannon, no ball.
Let's see what we got from the fishing. Oh, so this is a fun one. Generated items will not level up. So we got the same item. Normally that would go to a gold tier. Items that are generated and not like bought from a vendor, they will not combine. Usually, this is good. As they say in PoE land, this is a buff. Usually. Because having multiple copies of the same item allows you to stack super synergy. But not always. Rip in peace. In that case, not that time. Small items on day 7 or 200 health. I think I will actually go with 200 health. I certainly could get an upgrade here, but like, what would I upgrade? Would it actually be better than 200 health? Even if I upgrade a small item, would it actually be better than 200 health? I don't know. 200 health is a lot of health. Ammo, cooldowns, poison. Aquatic cooldowns. These are very crappy. I'm just going to go for poison damage. We're just chasing experience again. Potential experience is our strategy here. Now, in terms of what you should do in general, there is no general. Okay, you have to be mindful of that. I'm hunting down experience because I have a good setup, and my setup right now has no survivability items. So I know the main thing that I need to do is farm as much experience as possible, as fast as possible. So that's why I have very easy decisions right now. But this part of the game comes with experience and knowledge. I think I might actually sell the catfish, because I wouldn't use it over the illusion ray. So I'm actually going to sell the catfish. This is a pretty interesting consideration. So the Thug has a skill that's Bonk. It increases enemy cooldowns by 1 second, which is an insane skill. And the Radiant Corsair is also really, really insane. He has a Resurrect skill that is just super duper broken. Now, can I beat the Corsair? That is a good question. I think I can. But this is the kind of thing that, again, will come with experience. So the Parrot's skill, when he dies, he removes all poison and burn and fully heals himself. Obviously, this punishes exactly a build like mine. We're not playing a good build for this. But that skill is so insane. I actually got really unlucky. We got no haste on the Weather Glass. Oh my god, I got no haste on the Weather Glass twice in a row. I think I still win though. But I think if this crit, I would have possibly lost. Nah, we're good. Okay. I've never seen him drop that, so it's a 20% chance at the skill, which is insane.
Maybe a skirmish.
A lot of experience there. We're going to pick more experience. Small and large or crit skills. On day 7, we can get gold crit skills. So I think we're actually going to go for crit skills. Because now we can start getting some good stuff. The first time, use a large item, 15 crit for the fight. I think we're going to do that. We have to move our items though, because we want that to hit the Weather Glass. Slow 1 for 4, so that's way better than that one. Small burn item might be good. Gumballs, small items, or just any items, JJ's any items. Gumballs would essentially be free because I have the Cove. So a gumball costs 1, sells for 0, but when I sell an item I get 1 gold. So gumballs are free. It's just gumballs don't really affect my board very much. I don't care for the weapon damage, maybe a little bit of health. I'm actually going to go with a vendor. See, even though I'm generally ignoring vendors in favor of experience, I'm still going to some of them. So my item quality is going to be like a little bit weaker, but I'm going to be way higher level with this strategy.
And sometimes I sell stuff.
Bolus for slow is decent. Strikeout.
Maybe if I got better goods.
We will generate an item with a fishing rod again, so we'll hold this. I feel pretty good about my power level right now.
Underestimate me. It makes this more fun.
Crit on pop snappers isn't useful. It can be okay. This guy has a build that I made a YouTube video for
Next time,
that I
boys,
barely just
less
beat.
blunder, more
Thanks, Harpoon.
thunder. Land legs make you predictable. You move in straight lines.
Let's see what items we got. This one sucks. We have experience, chocolate bars, or B1, B2. Sell items with a high chance of upgrades. It is not a guaranteed chance. It is indeed a high chance. I guess I'll go there.
Smart shoppers buy vintage. New
I'll get the harpoon.
equipment, it's history.
I don't actually care to cash in the Cove right now, so I will not get the Cove. Upgrade your leftmost item. Again, this is supposed to be at level 10, but it's currently level 11. I'm struggling with haste uptime, so I'm actually going to upgrade the trebuchet again. It's just kind of critical to my build. The temporary boost can give you quite a lot of health and damage, even though it only lasts until after the PvP fight. Don't be afraid to take that. It's a pretty good option. We have a lot of gold, so getting a small weapon is not going to be favorable to just going to a vendor and hoping to get something that doesn't suck. The pufferfish is pretty decent, actually, but I don't care that much for it. I do want to get the chum. We get value for getting it. I think I'm going to sell the fishing rod at this point. I'm just going to need a little bit more space. So the chum costs 4, but sells for 2, and the piranha it creates sells for 2. But because I bought an aquatic, I gained 2, and because I sold 2 items, I gained 2. The puffer has good synergy with the trebuchet and the weather glass, but I would have to replace the harpoon, and I just don't really want to do that. If this was earlier, I would have done that. Again, right now I'm just chasing experience. Oh yeah, actually I could have bought puffer for +1 value, you're right, because I have the Cove and the ambergris. We do want to kind of get a little bit of ammo on these guys. Weather machine would be pretty nice. Nope. Weapons, spare change, large items. On day 8 we can get gold, so we can get a trebuchet there. I'm not really looking for other weapons, so I think we have a better shot at large items. We did in fact get the trebuchet. I see no reason to roll here, because there's nothing else I'm looking for in the large department. It's day 8, so even though there's some tools that I'd like upgrading the weather glass, skills start to be really good. You'll often see 12 gold version of skills here. When you use a tool slow an item, that can be very good. Burn items +3, that's a lot of damage right now. So this is a tool, we would get some pretty significant slows. It's a tough call, but I think I'm going to go for the burn damage. That's just so much damage.
I may be younger,
Okay, I'm level 11, almost 12 on day 8, so I'm slightly over-leveled. Could have been a lot better. Wow, a lot of people playing this build today, Jesus. I have to freeze the ship if I'm going to have a chance here, honestly. I don't think that's good enough. Yeah. This is the kind of build that I thought I would be playing with this starting skill.
Bring her about. I've got another salvo with me.
but we did not get anything of the sort. I was told that after day 9 you can no longer get the docks event, so I'm actually going to sell the star chart here. I think that's correct. I'm going to get forage. Forage sucks, but because we have Cove, it's 4 gold. Eventually. Ammo items could be harpoon and pop snappers, so why not?
Don't worry, mate. I'll look out for you.
It wasn't. The 3 hero merchants is quite good. These, like, hero-specific skill vendors are also pretty good. And even 12 regen is pretty good. This is all kind of a gamble here. For the 3 hero merchants, I would be going for Stel, because some of the unreleased heroes that you can get the vendors for through this, they have very few items. One of the heroes has 10 items. The cook hero, only 10 items. The released heroes have 100 items. So it's very, very, very consistent. You like jewels? Could be decent. Freeze potion. I think I'm gonna go with skills. I feel like I'm actually quite strong. We've just had like pretty unlucky matchups. Haste aquatic at start. I actually like that. I think I'm gonna go with a harpoon for the rest of the run. The Death Knight Reaper is extremely hard to beat because he has a bugged skill. If he crits with his scythe attack, I will probably lose. He has this skill, Desperate Freeze. So when he goes to half, remove freeze, slow, and half poison and burn. So that's bugged. It makes it so you cannot crowd control him anymore once he hits half. Ever. He's like full radiant. But it looks like our damage is good enough.
See that plank? Walk it.
Weapons, 10 crit. Pretty useless skill, but he gives tons of experience. I'm gonna still just keep chasing experience.
You have great potential. Let me train.
First time you use a large item, adjacent items get 7 burn. That's really, really good. At the start of each fight, permanently give your items 2 crit. We're on day 9, so we're not going to get that much crit value out of that. We're going to go with flanking fire because we're keeping the trebuchet.
Be its master.
Ammo skills should be pretty good. Looks like we'll just get 1 more ammo on our stuff. There are some reload skills, but we didn't end up getting them. Okay, we are level 13 on day 9 now, so we're actually a little bit more over-leveled than before. I have a hasted harpoon now, which is very good. I'm quite a lot stronger than the previous day, but you roll the dice when you play opponents, and right now Vanessa has some crazy burst builds. So the dagger is pretty lame because it ignores internal cooldown. And I'm dead. I'm not sure I would have won unless I actually froze the dagger or the repeater. But I think I had a much higher chance of winning if the dagger was not bugged. The dagger is ignoring internal cooldowns, so if you crit with like 5 weapons, it just fires 5 times, which effectively nullifies the usefulness of my freeze passives. The first time your prestige goes to 0, you go to this res event, and you can choose gold experience, random enchantment, or a free diamond tier item. You basically always select this and hope for something not terrible. Enchant an item with poison. If you enchant something with something it already has, it doubles the effect. So if I put this on the weather glass, the poison will go to 24 poison. Is that a good idea? No, I don't think it is a good idea. I think I'm not going to do that because if I poison another item, it goes to ×5, and the lion's share of my damage is burn. However, we have your slowest poison gets 5 poison, so we want to enchant an item that's faster than this with poison. 5.3. So we can do the pop snappers, but it'd run out of ammo. That would run out of ammo. I guess it has to be the harpoon or the pop snappers. We don't really have a choice. And I guess between those two, I choose the harpoon because it gets hasted at the start of the fight. And it'll get a little bit more poison.
I wear red, so the crew won't see me bleed.
It's day 10, so the skill vendor is by far the best choice.
You must find the quiet within.
Your rightmost poison has +8 poison. Oh, this one has leftmost. Oh, I see. So I actually had to move it that way to change the effect. 4. The thing is, I don't actually care about my poison damage that much. This is a lot of damage, but I think we can get something better. When you crit with an item, it gets 5 crit for the fight. That's pretty good, but... a little unlucky. Little unlucky. I think we're going to use heated shells. When you use an ammo item, burn 4, because this will kickstart my haste from trebuchet faster.
As long as you draw breath, your training is not complete.
Let's go for gold. We can hit a gold harpoon. We got a tropical island. I actually quite like tropical island. You can get quite a lot of health and regen. And we still have pretty good econ. We can still sell the ambergris. So burn does damage twice per second, poison does once per second. So burn will do double the damage of poison, but poison goes through shield, and shield halves burn damage. So it depends. And yeah, while we have the cove, we'll get 1 gold.
Waste of gunpowder.
That's interesting, but I don't think I can run it. Burn +1, 2 experience. Here, because I have proc cheat death, I really just want to get to level 16 as fast as possible. So yeah, fight a monster.
Target acquired.
I'm just trying to level as fast as possible. Nah, I like the snappers.
Target is resisting.
Maybe I should have got the crit passive because it gets adjacent crit.
It's over already.
Stopwatch. Kinda weak. Weapon damage, burn damage. Burn damage it is. Is powder keg worth using? Probably not. Here we have temporary boost. We could go for like 600 health, or we go for experience. We have the fight coming up next. So it kind of depends how strong I feel and how good our luck is with opponents. Well, we're gonna go with a gambler's fallacy. I feel like my opponent RNG has actually been garbage tier, so surely the next few opponents will be easy. We're gonna go with experience. 4 wins, okay.
You should know. I'm a bit
If we get over this, we get the custom enchant,
with you.
and usually people will get it much later, so we should be quite strong. This guy's playing a similar build, but he has significant healing, which is kind of bad, but I have item destruction and he does not. So hard to say. I think he's going to get obliterated, but I don't know. Okay, he got obliterated. We're
Bring
good.
her about. I've got another salvo in me. You fall like a boulder. I flow like the waves.
Gumballs will mostly help crit. Small items, we can get some upgrades there. I actually want a Clamora over the hook. Let's go small items. I haven't seen a Clamora the entire game. Clamora! Bye! That will help my my engage performance significantly. Ice Pick is going to have a little bit of a longer freeze now, which is pretty good. Yep, that should be good. Bazaar has the options to give you 2 experience, which should be preferable over health if we level like 2 or 3 more times, which I think we probably will. So we got Lifesteal, Haste, or Burn. We're going to go with Burn. If you enchant something with a property that it already has, it doubles the value. But it doubles the value in the form of an aura. So when we use a large item and give it 7, it'll give it 14. See my positioning rightmost. Yes, I think my positioning is good. We will go for highest XP still. Even though we've reached level 16 and we have that option, at this point we just get so much power from the extra health that we get from each level. There is also a guaranteed item upgrade at level 20, but sometimes it's level 21.
Stronger. Now it knows.
Pathetic. As spineless
Frost
as jellyfish.
Potion. I think we're going to use that over the Ice Pick. It has limited ammo, but that just means we need to find some ammo skills.
Since you have come to me.
So we got Poison Freeze for 4. 6 burn. That will be 12 burn on that. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. that's a lot. That's a lot of damage. Port. Yeah, at this point we might actually go for. Oh no, we lose the haste. Well, how much burn do we have right now? So this gains 7. It gets 14. It's 46. So it's about 12% or 12 damage. 15, 20% more damage? Maybe it's not that strong. Yeah, the freeze is really strong. First poison freeze is really strong. I'm gonna go for more control. I'm gonna go for the freeze.
A blade can prune a garden.
We either go for items or temporary stuff. Let's go for items. We still have some upgrades possible. Would I ever use the Ice Pick again? I mean, I can use it over the Pop Snappers. I don't think I will, though. I'm going to sell the Ambergris just so I have a little bit more space. I might keep it. I might keep it. Poison, ammo, 2 experience. 2 experience, please. Alright. This guy has 6 wins, which is how many I have. So he has the cheat death effect. He will probably be a formidable opponent, but we are way stronger than the previous fight, so hopefully... Oh my god. That is the biggest boat I have seen in a long time. We need to freeze that. We need to get rid of all his other items, and he needs to die right now. And he didn't.
Next time, boys, less blunder. More plunder.
If you only have one weapon, triple its damage and increase its cooldown by 50%. That is the biggest boat I have ever seen playing this game. Okay. Here we got an aerodrome. This allows you to reroll the vendor. Actually, B1, B2 is quite good, but I almost always force a skill vendor here. I can't really sell my last friend. I might get something crap like Cove or Tropical Island. I might get something crap like the Weather Glass. I think I'm going to force a skill vendor. Crit skills, why not? Building Crescendo will just be 100% crit in all my items.
Experience is treasure. I will share my
Left tool has multicast. That will add 1 multi to that, but I'd probably... Yeah, I'd probably use it on that. The harpoon... Oh, the harpoon is a tool? No, that's a bug. We don't want to utilize that bug. Yeah, enchanted harpoons count as tools again, I guess. I'm gonna sell the cove so we can afford it.
I do not teach fire.
We are not going to use the bug.
Mastery out.
We just gained a multi on the weather glass, so it went from 5 to 6. With bad freezes and bad RNG, we might lose here, but I don't think so. We have tremendous damage.
Was that even a battle? Maybe a skirmish.
I think we go for friend loot again. So here we need to be careful with the cooldown reduction because we need the harpoon to be lower cooldown than that. I'm actually going to lower the cooldown of the harpoon. Put the ammo on that. When you use a tool, slow an item, that could be very good actually. We're going to do that. We don't have much slow right now. Small and medium, we can hit quite a few things. This late, the temporary boosts can be quite significant, but
It's terrifying.
a level on Harpoon and a level on Clamora helps a lot.
Cleaner the blade, the quicker
So-
the fight.
You can miss very easily, because on day 12, after day 9, every single item is part of the vendor pool. This guy has 8 wins, I only have 7.
You should
He's
know
probably got a really
that
good build, but
legend
we actually should have an advantage because we have died, so we have an extra enchant on average. He's playing a Giga Puffer build. Why are my items so slow? He has like insane shields, so we might actually die here. Might die here. Nope.
Defeat does not
2,000 burn damage is fairly potent.
bravery without strength is
Oh,
a
he has the
sword
haste
without
shield
blade.
trigger. Yeah, that can be really annoying. I basically do half damage to him. Skill vendor, always. Slow freeze is huge. So is extra ammo. But slow freeze is too big. Burn items can often be enchanted, especially like if the class didn't have 6 burn items, it would always have some enchanted, because these are class items. But we're gonna force out a skill vendor again. Burn skills.
In a volcano, all right. I know my incendiaries.
Leftmost burn, large burn. That is pretty significant.
This will inspire the crew.
I think we still go with friend loot here, especially because we are now very poor. We got experience again. Chase more experience. I'll be back in a second.
I will remember you and return.
Waste of gunpowder.
Alright. On the later days, you get quite a lot of gold for beating the monsters, so you can usually even out there. Temporary boost, small and medium. I will go for small and medium.
Do you have any huge items?
I really want that harpoon and I really want that clamora. And we got neither. We still have 2 wins to get, so the experience can be meaningful. Let's chase a clamora.
First step toward good taste.
No clamora. That's how it is a lot of the time on the later days. Okay. This guy also has 8 wins. The builds, day 13 and later, they get really crazy. Okay. So even though we have a really good build, we're going to go up against other really good builds. Okay, this is where you have to get a little bit lucky with opponent RNG, of course. A 40 poison pufferfish. 400 poison. He has 400 regen. But I think he still dies before me.
You've got talent. You should put it toward nobler.
Health difference. Health difference.
You fall like a boulder. I flow like the waves.
Alright, so here we can get 500 health or temporary 10%, which would be 1000, but it's the last possible fight. We either win and we finish the run at 10 wins, or we die and we're just dead. So we're just going to go for temporary health because it's effectively permanent health. Skills over items. Let's see what we get. 3 more burn. When you use a non-weapon, a weapon gains haste. This is actually decent. Because if the treb goes off faster, it buffs those a little bit faster. This is more damage, but I think speed is more important on these days. I think speed is more important.
The world whirls like the wind.
Isn't Trebuchet perma-hasted? So it's not whether or not it's perma-hasted. It matters how fast it gets haste and how fast it goes off.
The Outlander way is truth.
Often in the later days, after like day 12 or something, you win or lose based off of the first few seconds. When any player uses an item or skill, all items get 2 crit. So we actually have full crit from building crescendo after we use like 10 items. 7 items or whatever. 10 items. 8 items because we have some base crit. So this would most likely just give my opponent crit, which we don't want. You can always reject a reward. So we're going to reject that reward. Level 21, forced upgrade. I think Diamond Clamora slows 4 for 2 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, 4 for 2 seconds. The potion will just freeze 4 items for 2 seconds. We actually want the Clamora. And honestly,
The quicker the fight.
I'm going to leave the Clamora there. I want this to go off twice. This is a start of combat effect. Start of combat effects are insanely strong. There's no large item I would want. I mean, there's the weather glass, which is a tool, but I think we're just going to get gumballs for a tiny amount of crit and or maybe HP. Just because, like, at this point, you're counting down the hours until the run is over. There's like 10 health. 10 more health, 1 damage, 1 crit, that probably doesn't matter. We actually got a pretty rare event that allows me to potentially level. So 2 to 4 experience. We get 1 experience for the hour, so this is 66% chance to level. Or an average of 400 health. It has the next level rewards, but this is not correct. I think I get like 1000 health if I level. So I think I'm gonna gamble. Gamba for the level. Level. Aquatic. We'll go with aquatic cooldowns. How much HP did I get, by the way? I think it is about 1000 per level. I think that's not correct. 1100 HP. Okay. So, like, let's go back all the way to the start of the run. where I told you guys how important it was to get like 1 XP here and there. Well, we got the choose 3 enchant just in time because that was a really powerful opponent. And we are exactly level 22, which resulted in faster cooldowns and 1,000 extra health. We did intentionally move the Clamor, so we're doing less damage, but it's way stronger at the start of the fight. So we're going to slow 8 items for 2 seconds at the start of the fight. We're then going to kill stuff 2.5 seconds in, because we have the hasted aquatic. Actually, it might not land on the harpoon, but hopefully 2.5 seconds in. After we kill stuff, we're going to freeze the remaining things for a few seconds. And then after 6 or 7 seconds, hopefully it's over, because we have no defenses. But it's a pretty good plan, because we have insane burst and control right at the beginning. If he freezes me out after like 5 or 6 seconds, he'll probably just die to the poison and burn. So we don't even care about that. We just want to be faster. He has a really fast build. Look at that. That's the Clamor difference right there. Yeah. Not even close, and it was because of speed.
All cannon. No. Read the tides and listen to the wind. They will guide your strikes.
Woo. And we lost MMR, because you have to get 10-0 to gain MMR. They're gonna fix it, probably. Probably.